Around 20,000 products were announced during the 4-day show at press conferences.
The new Series 9 weighs only 2.5 pounds.
The engineers over at ASUS did a fabulous job with this design.
And with all the fanfare befitting Sin City. On show this year, personalised tech for every part of our life, from the morning drive to the daily chores and the evening meal. One of the most eye-catching features of these shows is the sheer number of TV screens which blaze at you from every direction. Competition is fierce. Samsung claimed to have the world's biggest OLED screen, measuring 55 inches across. But LG saw that and raised it by making theirs 3D. And they were both so thin you could shave with them. Both companies were also showing off ultra-high resolution screens with 4 times as many pixels as normal high def. LG's, of course, was 3D. And if you're worried that TV tech is advancing so fast that your new set will be out of date by next week, why not try this Samsung TV, which comes with an upgrade slot. Just switch out yesterday's innards for tomorrow's shiny new processor. But the star of the show was the connected TV, a screen which plugs into the net, allowing you to stream videos and download apps in the same way as you might on a tablet or a smartphone.
There are an awful lot of people making an awful lot of noise about their internet-connected TVs here at CES. So the question is, will 2012 be the year of connected TVs? There are a lot of them being sold, but apparently not many of them are being connected to the internet at the moment. Let's try and find out why. Now, Lisa Montgomery is the editor of Electronic House, and you watch an awful lot of TV.
Oh, sure, I do.
What's the problem in your opinion?
I think it might be because right now people are trying to differentiate themselves in the marketplace. So the more apps they have, the more different they become from their competitors. And so we've got companies that are offering more than 1,000 apps on their TV.
And that can look a bit of a mess, can't it?
Yeah, and hard to manage. And so as it becomes hard to manage, it's more complicated and people just say, forget it. So I think right now we're seeing a trend towards making all that content easier to find, navigate, control, and enjoy.
So what kind of exciting interfaces have you seen so far this year?
Well, we're moving away from the hard button remotes where you're looking down at the buttons and then up at the TV screen to see what's available, to tablets that almost serve like a mini TV screen. So what you're seeing on that tablet is the same thing as being shown on the big screen. So you get that more interactive feel with your TV.
And the tablet can be a touchscreen controller for the TV.
Yes, exactly. And the big news, though, is manufacturers are incorporating gesture control, like the game players like Wii, facial recognition, and voice control as a way to navigate through the content.
ESPN.
So you can go directly to your chosen service just by speaking to the TV set?
You could, yes, or it could recognize your face and bring only those apps up that are relevant to you.
What do you make of the actual content that you get through these apps? Is that good enough?
Well, I think they're becoming more and more diversified, right? Social media is always going to be a hot button, but now we're seeing apps that sort of make the TV a helper to you. If you're an avid sports fan, there's an app on one of the Dish actually is offering it, where it monitors in the background. You might not even be watching this sporting event, but it monitors the noise level of a sporting event, and if it gets crazy, the TV will alert you and tell you what channel to tune to, because
there might be something exciting going on.
Yeah, might be something good to watch.
There are rumours that Apple is going to make its own connected television set. What do you make of those rumours?
It really wouldn't surprise me. Apple they're the king of interfaces, really. They've introduced millions of people to iTunes and that easy way to stream music, and now it's all about all kinds of different content. They know how to do it well, and so it wouldn't surprise me if they came out with something.
But this show has more to offer than just connected TVs, more in fact than any one person could hope to see. Exploring all 1.8 million square feet would take even longer than it will take for my body to digest our Las Vegas breakfasts. And then to the tablets. Big ones, small ones, some with keyboards, and some sporting the new Android operating system called Ice Cream Sandwich. Oof, back to that breakfast again.
So what will the portable computer of 2012 look like? With me is Rudy Almhofer, who is an IT market analyst. Rudy, hi. We're starting to see some serious contenders that are smaller than the traditional large screen tablet, 7-8 inch screens. For example, the Kindle Fire. Do you think that size tablet is going to catch on?
Both form factors are needed. We have a huge variety of content. People have access nearly everywhere to online content, to the cloud. So they need smaller devices for maybe traveling. They need a bit larger one for watching some kind of clips or whatever they download from the web. And therefore, small as well as mid or large screen sizes are needed for the market.
And one of the trends with laptops now seems to be the introduction of touchscreen. I guess that's following on from the tablet to the laptop. Touchscreen on laptops, interesting?
Yes, touchscreen is the big trend coming from the smartphone side. Touchscreen is making tablets so interesting. And tomorrow, every netbook, every notebook, from our understanding, will have at least limited touchscreen functions.
And there's also a lot of talk about these Ultrabooks that we've been hearing about, a new type of laptop. Can you just remind us, what features are we seeing in Ultrabooks? What is making them a class in their own?
Ultrabooks is more or less a synonym for a new cool design, long battery lifetime, very thin, instant on. They are much more convenient and therefore it's the right time for them. Consumers are looking for products which are offering an ease of use.
Also packing a big punch are the phones of 2012, starting with this one, a prototype from Fujitsu packing a quad-core processor with a 13 megapixel camera and 4G capability. We expect to see more of this baby next month. As well as firsts, there was also a last. It's goodbye to Microsoft, which has decided not to attend the show from now on.
It highlights the history of Microsoft and CES together.
Still, at least CEO Steve Ballmer got a souvenir.
Thanks for a great partnership. I'm excited to have the opportunity to be here tonight. Let's go get started.
Let's do it.
And although we did get to see a bit more of its new operating system, Windows 8, it was confined to a small desk on the show floor, out of reach of inquisitive fingers.
Well, Microsoft didn't mention it, but we're going to anyway, and we found someone else who's willing to talk about Windows 8. This is Jay Green, a senior writer from CNET. So Windows 8 isn't here, but it is expected later this year. Why do you think we're not seeing more prototypes at least?
Well, I think Microsoft really thinks that the noise of CES is so loud, the volume from all the other companies doing things here just will overwhelm the message. And I think they also want to control their event. So when Windows 8 comes out, they want that message to be theirs. They don't want to have to compete with everyone else. They don't want to have to do it on someone else's stage.
Hence, they're not going to be here next year?
That's right. I mean, Microsoft has said that this is its last CES, and that's the reason. They want to control these events.
So, is there a possibility when we do see Windows 8 that it will be this merge, not just between tablets and PC operating system, but also the Windows Phone operating system? Windows Phone 7, Windows 7, both become Windows 8.
That could happen a ways down the road. That's not going to happen with Windows 8. But Windows 8 will have a lot of the things that Windows Phone users are familiar with. So the interface, it's going to be a touch interface. It's going to use what's called the Metro style, which is a tile-based interface. And so for consumers, it'll have a lot of that familiarity.
And do you think it will put Microsoft back in the game when it comes to portable computing with tablets?
Well, that's the big bet. And, Microsoft is going to be in the game with that. It's a real open question as to how much, because certainly people love their iPads. Here in the US, folks are jumping on the Kindle Fire from Amazon. Microsoft's late, and it's going to be 3 years late almost by the time that Windows 8 comes out for tablets. So that's going to be a tough fight for them.
But it does give users some advantages, doesn't it? It means that they can carry their laptop and desktop applications through to a tablet experience, and that you can't run Microsoft products on Android or on iPad.
Well, I think that's true. I think the one challenge with that, though, is that there's so many Windows applications out there that are written not for a touch-based device. So, right now, it's hard to imagine how you would use, say, an Excel spreadsheet in a touch-based environment. It just doesn't seem to make sense.
Okay, let's look ahead to a couple of other big trends for 2012 that you've identified for us. Take us through the big things we should be watching out for in the next 12 months.
So one of the things I think about, and it kind of gets to some of the conversations we were just having, is cloud-based computing, and so that's industry jargon, but it's essentially storing stuff out on the internet. And so
that's not new per se,
it's
is it?
not new, but what's interesting is you get these tablet devices that are always connected. As you get your phone that's always connected, you're going to want to have access to all those photos you took of your kids on vacation. That's all going to get stored up on the cloud, and there are going to be all sorts of devices that can really use it. And what's really interesting to see in the industry right now are the behemoths are really fighting one another for this space. So you have Apple, you have Google, and you have Microsoft.